Hello, everybody. It is the Davis Financial Team coming live from Madeira Beach.
Hello.
Hope you guys are doing well. Got your wine ready, your drinks ready, your food all prepped and ready to rock and roll. We have been down here overcoming adversity for the last 2.5 hours, so bear with us if we freeze up. Hopefully we'll rock this night out. But we just want to go over a couple of housekeeping things. I'm going to kind of pass the mic around here. I'm going to give it to Cheyenne. Cheyenne's going to kind of fill us in on kind of what's going on. We're going to do some charity giveaways, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, all right, guys. So tonight, throughout the evening, I know that I sent out the YouTube instructions. If you guys are not signed up with YouTube, hopefully you got signed up. We will be interacting with you guys here in the chat. We're going to have our link to also do live donations to directly to Citrus County Blessings this evening as well. So again, we have something special for our top donor. So thank you guys again for everything that we've got thus far. We appreciate everything that you guys have done for Blessings and for the organization. So yeah, stay tuned. We will drop that link. You guys can click it throughout the night, and we will, towards the end of the evening, once we wrap up, we are going to announce our total. We're going to announce the winner for the highest donor and lots of other fun stuff. We're excited for good night.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, as I'm sitting here, more and more things are coming to my mind here, so I want to go over a couple more things. Christian, if you come up here real quick. Everybody that has done this with us back in our COVID days, you guys remember Christian, he's going to be with us. We're going to be cooking. You guys that have been with us before, you kind of know the drill. We're going to give everybody about another 10 to 15 minutes to kind of get set, get ready, get prepped. On that YouTube Live, you'll see there's going to be a chat thread. We're going to have a moderator working that, so feel free to ask questions. Ask Chef questions. We'll go slow. We'll answer as many questions as we can, and I think we'll probably put a link up in that chat to do some live donations along the way. If you've never joined us before, this is your first time, we're geared up for a really exciting night. Christina Reed, who most of you that came to Sauce Hog, she's with us here tonight. And yes, absolutely. Thank you, Christina and David, for coming. And you guys will see them later throughout the night. We got a beautiful setup, a beautiful kitchen. We're excited about this evening. Like I said, thanks for hanging with us there for the first couple minutes. We had some adversity with technology, so we're gonna kick it in high gear here. And I've got about 5:10, and so we've done this before, and we know that getting set up or getting prepped, there might be some questions coming in. So this is just kind of a 20-minute countdown. We are going to go live cooking starting at 5:30. So we just want to make sure our technology is working. You guys are all set and ready to rock and roll. 20 minutes, have a glass of wine, relax, get your food ready, get prepped. Christian, do they need to have anything special? You got a mic.
Yeah,
He's good. Before we get back on at 5:30 live.
No, just make sure that you have your food processor out, and we're going to be slicing that French bread. So if you have a serrated knife or a bread knife, that would be good to have. And then what I'm going to do is after we do the appetizer part, you guys will have like a little halftime. And during that halftime, I'm not sure if it was listed in the instructions, but for those of you doing shrimp, if you could have those shrimp thawed out, ready to go for the recipe, that would be great. And that's about it. And yeah, you know what? I have my oven preheating at 375, so please go ahead and turn your oven on to 375. That way we're ready to go.
Well done, Chef 2. Mm-hmm. Great job. And we apologize for any background, if you hear any kids or any hood rat children running around. They're all downstairs playing, so bear with us. We'll probably throw them on camera here at the end of the night. But sit back, relax, enjoy. 18-minute countdown, 5:30. We're going live. We're going to cook and enjoy. Happy holidays.
Hi, guys. Hi. When we drop the live link to donate, I just want to let everyone know kind of where we're sitting. We're just shy of feeding 15 kids for the year. So keep that in mind when that link goes into the chat. I would love to see us get to 20. I think that would be incredible. So again, we're just shy of 15 children, so make those donations.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Hey guys, welcome back to the third annual Davis Financial Cooking Class. I'm Chef Christian Feher. For those of you who were here last year, hey, nice to see you again. And for those of you who are new, hey, nice to meet you. All right, so we have a nice menu today. I'm sure you've all gotten the email. We're going to start off with the appetizers, which are a nice chimichurri dip. We're going to do a nice basil pesto, and we're going to do a romesco sauce. All right, I'm going to try to go really slow. If you guys have any questions, there's a chat right next to the video. You can put in your question there, and then somebody, hopefully, will yell it over to me, and I'll answer your questions. So we have our ovens turned on at 375, I'm assuming. We have our food processor out, and all our ingredients accessible. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to take our bread knife or a serrated knife, and we're going to cut down our French baguette. All right, so you can cut it into slices, and I'm going to cut it into cubes because that's what I like, but slices are easier. So let me show you what I mean by slices. You just kind of do that, okay? And we're going to put those, you can put them in some sort of sheet pan or something to put in the oven. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And this will make really nice, crusty, warm bread for dipping in all the 3 dips that we're going to make. And you want to use a serrated knife to cut bread. Cutting bread with a straight edge knife, like a chef knife, it still works, but it's not as easy as with a serrated knife. Okay, I'm going to put those in my little pan here that's going to go in the oven. And I'm sure most of you have like a sheet pan. And you don't need to line it with anything because bread is not sticky. It's not going to stick. For those of you coming back, I hope that you enjoyed the recipes we did last year. I think we did some nice pasta with a cream sauce. We're going to do a really nice angel hair pasta with garlic butter and shrimp today. So if you're into pasta, you're in for a treat. All right, so hopefully we all have our bread nicely cut up on our sheet pan here. I'm not going to put it in the oven just yet. I'll let you know when, because we don't want to burn it. Okay, I'm just going to wipe off my board here. All right, so the first dip that we're going to make is, let's see, which one? We're going to make the cashew basil pesto, all right? So I'm going to put this bread over to the side now. Like I said, I'll let you know when to put it in the oven so that we don't burn it. All right, so cashew basil pesto. Now, what you're going to need here is some garlic cloves. I have about a dozen garlic cloves. You can do a little less than that. Maybe, let's say between 8 and 12 garlic cloves. I have a nice handful of fresh basil. And we have a nice bushel of fresh parsley. Okay, now, do you guys have that B-roll of the parsley?
Because the internet was not working.
Okay. All right, so the best way to wash parsley is you fill a bowl with water. Okay, so instead of running it under the sink, you actually fill up a whole bowl with water, and then you swish the parsley in that water. And what's going to happen is all that little silt and sand that's in the parsley is actually going to sink to the bottom, and that's the best way to clean it. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to go ahead and go to the sink with some nice, fresh, running cold water and rinse out your parsley, and then we'll continue. I hope that gave you enough time to wash the parsley. So we have our food processor, and you want to take your parsley like this, and see how it's got all the stems in the bottom? You want to just cut all the stems off like that, and just put the bushy part of the parsley in your food processor. Now I do want to give you another note, is we're cooking. We're not baking, so we don't need exact measurements of anything. You know, if we were baking, we would need exact measurements. Baking is a science. Cooking is an art. So if you have a little more or a little less of something, likely it's going to turn out fine. So please, I know some of you are very adamant on exact instructions and exact measurements. In this case, you're going to be okay. All right? So a little bit of parsley or a lot of parsley, it's all going to be good. So we put our bushel of our bushel of parsley in the food processor. I have about 10 cloves of garlic. That's going to go in the food processor as well. And now with our fresh basil, same thing as with the parsley. It's got stems. So we're going to try to pick the leaves off, put the leaves in the food processor, and leave the stems behind. Now basil stems are soft, so technically you could cook with them, or you could put them in here, but if we have time, why not just have the nice soft basil leaves? We're in no hurry. We can leave these behind. If you have any questions, please put them in that chat next to the screen, and we'll do our best to answer those for you. All right, so far you should have some parsley, you should have your fresh basil and your garlic in the food processor. I'm also going to take a little bit of salt, and if you want to get a little close-up of my hand here and let me know when you got it. Okay, just like that. Okay, maybe like a teaspoon or a couple of teaspoons of salt in the food processor. And now we're going to take some nice olive oil. And like I said, I'm going to try my best to do measurements when I can. So I have a little measuring cup here. And let's see here. 1/3 cup. 2/3. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to put about a cup of olive oil in here. A little bit of fresh ground pepper. Okay, and I'll wait. I know there's some of you that aren't there yet. Hopefully our stream has smoothed out and you can hear what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Good to go.
I don't know what you're saying.
Anybody has questions?
Okay.
You just tell everybody the question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, please type them into the side of the screen in the chat bar, and we'll do our best to answer those for you. Okay, so here's where we're at. We have our food processor. We have parsley, basil, we have our garlic, 1 cup of olive oil, we have salt, we have pepper, and because this is a cashew basil pesto, we're going to add cashews. Now, some of you are like, well, why aren't we adding pine nuts? Well, 2 reasons. 1, pine nuts are really expensive, and they really don't taste all that good. So cashews taste a whole lot better than pine nuts, and they're much cheaper. So we're going to do that. All right, so how much are you going to add? Well, let's see. I'm going to say 2 handfuls. Okay, 2 handfuls being like this. If you want to put a little bit less, that's totally fine. All right, so I hope everybody is following along. And now we're just going to puree this in the food processor. Okay, so let's hear. Here we go. It's going to be noisy. All right, so we have a nice smooth paste. And this is the part where you're going to grab a spoon and you're going to taste it, because if it's not salty enough, you'll need to add more salt. All right, well, I like a lot of salt, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. And then you can puree it again. All right, we're going to give this another taste. I approve. This is the part where the audience participates. All right. Well, there's a very important part of cooking, and that is that you actually have to taste everything while you're cooking. Like, you really have to do it. Otherwise, you don't know what you're going to end up with. And also, you end up with a proper chef figure like this. All right, so we're going to transfer this onto a bowl. Hopefully everybody has a bowl of pesto. I know I do. So you've put everything in your food processor, you've pureed it, you've tested it for salt, it tastes good, and now you have it in a bowl, hopefully. Okay, so that's the first of our sauces, or our dips. So this is the point where I'm going to put the bread in the oven, because by the time that the other two dips are done, then this bread will be nice and crispy. Now, if you guys have any questions, please, like I said before, just type them into the chat box on the right side of your screen, and we'll go ahead and answer your questions. So now we're going to move on to our next dip, which is chimichurri. All right. So chimichurri. Now, I'm not sure how much parsley you guys have, but we're going to need 3 portions of parsley for these. So if you only bought, let's say, 1 bushel of parsley, split that into 3 parts, and we'll use 1/3 of it for the pesto, we'll use 1/3 of it for the chimichurri, and we'll use the other 1/3 for the romesco sauce, all right? But I have a lot of parsley, that's why I'm using full bushels, okay? So for this one, we have some nice red bell peppers, we have some fresh parsley, and again, a lot of garlic. I have about 10 to 12 cloves here. And I'm not going to clean the inside of the food processor because I actually like when the leftover flavor of the thing we're doing previously stays in there. So it's just going to keep building flavor, okay? All right, so first thing I'm going to do is put the garlic in the food processor. About 10 cloves of garlic, 8 to 10 should be good, okay? Some washed parsley, just a little handful, good enough. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to cut these peppers. So get your chef knife and get your peppers. And I'm going to slow down just a little bit here. All right. Okay, so here we go. You have your peppers and you have your chef knife. So if we can get a close-up on the board, please. Great. So you're going to cut these in half, just like that. And the easiest way to get the seeds out is just you grab it and you rip the heart out. Okay? You're ripping the heart out of your peppers. That, boom. Any seeds that are left in here, see this is called the placenta of the pepper, the white stuff. So you can just take that off with your hands. And if you have any other seeds, you just tap them out. Okay, I'm going to do that with my other pepper. Okay, just rip the heart out. All right, so I'm just going to cut this just into rough squares, just like this, just into pieces so that they fit inside of the food processor pretty easily. Okay, you could even do this with your hands. Just, just rip it apart, just in random small pieces. And that's just so it goes through the blades of the food processor really smoothly. Okay, so we have all these peppers here into the food processor. A chimichurri is actually a sauce that comes from Argentinian cuisine. And if some of you, I'm sure some of you do know that Argentinians are known for their barbecue and grilling and lots of meat. So this is a really good dip or a sauce for your grilled meats. Like if you're doing a grilled steak, if you're doing grilled anything really, sausages, pork, or whatever, in Argentina, you just slather that on at the end. and that's a perfect chimichurri. But it's one of those sauces and dips that just goes with everything. So, all right, so we have all our garlic, parsley, we have our pepper. Now, I did not find fresh oregano. I'm sure most of you did. So at this point, you take your fresh oregano and you just want to pluck out a few little leaves off of a stem and just put it in your food processor. Maybe like just, a teaspoon or a tablespoon worth of fresh oregano. I have dry oregano, so I'm just going to take like, maybe a tablespoon, just like that, okay? And just put that in the food processor. I'm going to do the same amount of cumin, ground cumin, just like that. So I have about a tablespoon of cumin, and that went into the food processor. And now we're going to do about half a tablespoon of salt, so just like that. There it goes. And about a third of a cup of olive oil. Now I told you guys you can get any vinegar you want, and whatever vinegar you chose is going to give this a special flavor. I chose red wine vinegar. It's pretty much a go-to vinegar. If you chose white vinegar, balsamic vinegar, it's all going to work out. You can even put lemon juice in here. So usually the rule of thumb when you're balancing out oil and vinegar is 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. That makes a vinaigrette. So in this case, we're just going to do like a third as much as we did on the oil. Okay? All right, and what am I missing here? Maybe a little bit of fresh ground black pepper. All right, so before I turn this into a dip, let's recap. So we have about a handful of fresh parsley. We have about 10 cloves of garlic. We have 2 cut up red bell peppers. We have about a tablespoon of cumin. We have a little bit of oregano, whether it's fresh oregano or dry oregano. And we have a 1/3 cup of olive oil. And we have a little bit less than a 1/3 cup, so maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of a cup of vinegar. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a minute to make sure you're all caught up. I'm going to check my bread. Okay. All right, that bread is pretty close. I'm going to pull it out soon, but not quite yet. All right, so I'm going to put my lid on the food processor, and we're going to puree it like we did with the pesto. All right, and like we did before, we're going to taste it. Make sure that it's salty enough and it's not lacking any flavor. Could use a little bit of salt. So I've added some more salt, and now we're going to puree it again. All right. Give it another taste. Hopefully yours turned out just as good as this one. Good stuff. All right. And now it's ready to go in the bowl. So look at this. We have we have a nice bowl of cashew basil pesto. We have a nice bowl of red pepper chimichurri. All right, guys, I'm going to check on my bread. Now, I have been known to burn the bread more than once, so I'm going to take this out just to be safe. So it's nice and crispy. And again, we're going to keep all this leftover stuff in the food processor. That's going to add even more flavor to the next sauce that we're going to do. And the next sauce we're going to do is romesco. And the difference between these two and the romesco is we're actually going to cook it first. Okay, so I want you guys to get your skillet and get it on the stove. So I'm going to give you a minute. All right, guys. So let's move on to our pan. We'll turn it up to medium heat. we'll do a nice little swirl of olive oil just to coat the bottom of the pan. And for the romesco, we have this jar of roasted red peppers, which you should have. We have some fresh basil. We have some fresh parsley. We have a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes, some cashews, and a whole bunch of garlic. All right. Now, let me give you a little tip here. If sometimes you have a jar like this and it's really hard to open, and if you have a chef knife, now only use a chef knife, don't use any other kind of knife. See how a chef knife has a nice little heel on it? See that little heel right there? Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're just going to give this lid a whack with the heel, and that way it opens real easy because it gets rid of the vacuum. So I'm just going to go over to the sink and pour out the liquid.
Hey, Chef.
Yep.
If they can't open that, we brought the muscle to the party.
Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, the gingerbread man. And if he can't do it, no one can. How you doing, gingerbread man? Awesome, awesome. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to try not to catch gingerbread guy on fire, but he's going to cook. Come on over, gingerbread guy. All right, so you're going to pour in the peppers. There you go. Come on, there you go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it was a nice try, gingerbread guy. Thank you very much for coming out. Appreciate it. All right, so we have our peppers in here. I'm going to throw in a whole bunch of cherry tomatoes, like a little pint or a handful. Cashews, about a handful of cashews, and about a handful of garlic. So maybe like 10 cloves, something like that. Okay, I'm going to throw in some fresh cut parsley, maybe another big handful. And another big handful of basil. Okay, you just want to stir this around, and we're just going to fry it for just a minute or two. And you want to keep this moving because you don't want those cashews to burn. Okay, turn this up to high. All right. Okay, so let me know how this is doing. Let me know how you're going. Is everything working out good? Do you guys have the appropriate amount of ingredients? Let me know in the comments section. You can chat it up in the chat box. I'm just going to keep moving this around just so those cashews don't burn. And I actually have my heat all the way up to high because this is taking a while. All right, so we got that cooking. I'm going to take a little taste test here. Can't help myself. That's good dip. All right. So now that we have a nice sizzle going, I'm going to very carefully pour this into the food processor. Whoop, there we go. Okay, I think we got most of that in there. All right, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt, same as before, a little dot on my hand.
Chef, can you please repeat the ingredients?
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, so let's recap the ingredients that we had in the pan and now are in the food processor. So we had a handful of fresh basil, we had a handful of fresh parsley, we had 1 jar of roasted red peppers, about 10 cloves of garlic, about a pint of cherry tomatoes, and a handful of cashews. And now I've added a little bit of salt, and we're going to add a little bit of pepper.
Chef, we got another question.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen the Muffin Man? That's literally the question that was asked.
It's literally been minutes since I've seen the Muffin Man. All right.
They said please repeat the ingredients for the romesco.
Okay. So romesco sauce. We have cherry tomatoes, about a pint. We have 10 cloves of garlic. We have 1 jar of roasted red peppers, 1 handful of fresh parsley, 1 handful of fresh basil, 1 handful of cashews, and we have salt and we have pepper. And of course, we put a little bit of oil on the bottom of the cooking pan. So hopefully you guys have fried that up, and now you have all your ingredients inside of your food processor. Okay? Oh no. The gingerbread man looks like he's up to something. All right, so now we're going to puree it. Gingerbread man. All right. I'm hungry. I feel like cookies. All right, so let's give this a little taste here. Here you go. Here you go. Oh, you can't? Oh, well.
Someone asked to repeat the ingredients again, please. And
Okay.
slow down with your instructions if you can.
All right. So let's start from the beginning. So, for the romesco, you have your nice pan here, and we're going to put it on high heat. We're going to swirl some olive oil in there, and we're going to add a handful of cashews, a pint of cherry tomatoes, 10 cloves of garlic, your jar of drained roasted red peppers, a handful of parsley, a handful of fresh basil, and I think that covers everything. Yeah, we're going to saute that for a couple of minutes, and then once that's really nice and hot, we're going to put it in the food processor and add salt and pepper, and then we're going to puree it. So you should end up with a nice little bowl of steaming hot romesco, just like that. Okay, so you have your 3 bowls. We have our pesto, we have our chimichurri, and we have our romesco. And then what you do here is just go to town. You get your bread and you dip it, and everybody has a good time. And now it's appetizer time. I'm not supposed to speak with my mouth full. My mom told me that. All right, we'll be back in 20 minutes, guys. 20 minutes or half an hour?
I think we have an announcement.
Oh, wait. There's an announcement.
Yep. Hi, sorry.
Oh, no problem. Please.
Microphone. Thank you. Hi guys, chef is doing awesome. The gingerbread man is a little crazy over here. I just wanted to make a statement about the internet. We know it's a little crazy. We have tested it a million times and it's great, and then we go live and it's not good. So we're just gonna keep going. So we're gonna make it a game. So every time the internet goes out, you guys have to drink. That's it. You just have to take a little sip. I know there was $75 on that gift card. We got some good wine. Take a sip. And every time it goes out, Davis Financial Group is going to donate $20 to Citrus County Blessings. So we're going to keep a tally, and we hope you survive to the end of the cooking. Enjoy. Again, our apologies. There's nothing we can do. We're at the mercy of the internet. So enjoy, and we'll see you in 20 minutes. Take care.
Hey everyone, before we get into entrees, we have an exciting announcement to make. To your efforts and to Davis Financial Group, we have matched all of the proceeds made. We have actually accumulated $5,000 worth of funds, which will actually feed 25 children this year. So we are so thankful to every single one of you, and I'm sure these children are going to be so thankful as well to be able to go home and have the food security that they don't have. So thank everyone in this chat, everyone who's participated, everyone who showed up to the bake sale for your participation. And not only that, but there's a little bit more.
Hi guys, I'm Christina Reed. I'm the executive director for Citrus County Blessings. I wanted to let you know that your food donations of 350 pounds of food, that equates to 3 extra kids getting food on the weekends and holiday breaks. So thank you so much for that. That's awesome. So thank you so much for your donations, your food donations, your monetary donations, and thank you to the Davis Financial family for supporting us. We appreciate it.
Perfect. So that is about 28 kids total. You guys did it. You're amazing, and we are so thankful for you. And I'm pretty sure Chef Christian's going to come up and start some entrees.
We got the last thing, but we don't forget. We're still live donating, right, guys? Yes. So in the midst of our technical difficulties this evening, we've had another one. The link for the donations was giving us trouble. So that, I guess, is up.
Facebook.
YouTube, Facebook, or Blessings, right, Christina? Blessings.com?
Directly on the website. Yes.
Blessings.org.
The link is on our Facebook.
But if
Link?
you go directly to our Facebook, we have it linked there as well.
Yeah, and your internet's not freezing. It's just us. We don't have a script here, so we apologize. But no, on behalf of all of us here, I thank everybody. Thank you guys. I know you guys are eager to keep having some wine and some food, and we are too. But we're going to run that live donation link through the rest of the evening, and then we got something pretty sweet for our highest donors, and we're going to do another video next week since we've had some technical difficulties. So thanks everybody. Here we go. Where's Christian? Bring him in. Here he goes.
We'll just exit stage right.
Stage right. Exit. Perfect.
All right. So I hope you guys have enjoyed all your appetizers, your dip, and your nice warm crusty bread. So now we're on to the main event. So let's get rid of, let's see. Let's leave that there for now. Okay, so let's go through our list of equipment. So hopefully you have a nice skillet still on your stovetop, and hopefully you have some shrimp for those of you who are doing shrimp, and hopefully it's thawed out. And for those of you who are doing chicken, hopefully you have chicken. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but if you guys want to cut your chicken up, slice it up into little pieces, please do that right now. And if you're asking yourself, well, how big or how small? Well, about the size of a shrimp, okay? So do that right now. And then we have some nice fresh parsley. We have a whole big handful of it. We have, again, that's like the, basically for every recipe that I'm doing tonight, we have like 12 cloves of garlic. Okay, so this is official garlic night. And we have a stick of butter. All right, now here's the thing. This thing is going to go into 2 parts. The first part, I just want you to watch me do it. Okay, and then the second part, we'll do it together. So I'm just going to show you the basic way to cook angel hair pasta, because there is a technique to it. So just watch me do it, and then on the second part of the recipe, I'll do it again, and then we'll do it together, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is fill up, this is about a 32-ounce container. I'm going to fill it up with hot water from the sink, and we're going to make some chicken stock using the hot water and this bouillon, all right? So I'm going to fill this up. It doesn't have to be super hot, just, hot water from your tap. I have here a 32-ounce container full of hot water from the sink. And I'm just going to mix in some chicken bouillon powder. Okay? Just like that. Stir it. And that's going to make nice chicken stock. So that was like a big heaping spoonful. And the way you mix this really is you just mix in some powder and then you taste it. And if it tastes like chicken stock, then you put enough. If it's very watered down, add more powder. All right, so for all intents and purposes, I have just made a 32-ounce container of chicken stock. All right, so we're going to need that. And like I said, during this part, you're just going to watch me do it. So I have our skillet here. I'm going to turn it on to high. And this is just the most basic way to cook angel hair pasta. And if some of you have cooked risotto before, you're going to find this pretty familiar because it's kind of like risotto, where you're just going to stir it and add a little bit of liquid and just let the pasta absorb it. The good thing about angel hair pasta is that it's so thin that it cooks really, really fast. It absorbs liquid really quickly. So I'm just going to take, this is probably like a third of the box or a quarter of the box. Okay. So here's our angel hair pasta. And I'm going to lay it flat on our pan. So if you can see that. Oh, I see we're on that camera. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And I'm just going to pour in So I poured in about 3 cups of chicken stock. And I'm just going to wait for this to come to a boil. And I have a little bit extra on hand in case I need more. But just remember, you're just watching me on this one. You're not doing it yourself. Because this just shows you how to, like the very most basic way to cook angel hair pasta. So this is just angel hair pasta and chicken stock. And I'm waiting for this to come up to a boil. Or a simmer. I like angel hair pasta because if I'm really hungry and in a hurry, I know I can throw it together in like 5 minutes, literally. I don't have to wait to boil the pasta. I don't even have to wait for the pasta water to come to a boil. You know, it's like a really, really quick thing. So I always have angel hair pasta in my pantry in case anybody at my house is really hungry and needs pasta like now. All right, just gonna wait. They say a watched pot never boils. I guess I'm proving that tonight. And this also gives you some time for those of you who are doing chicken to cut up your chicken into nice little small pieces. But I'm going to be doing this recipe with shrimp. Now we did have one question about those about the appetizers that we made, and somebody asked, "Can we freeze the dips?" And my answer was, well, you can freeze the chimichurri. I'm sorry, you can freeze the pesto. The best way to freeze the pesto actually is to get like one of those ice cube trays and fill the ice cube trays with pesto. That way, when you want to use it for like cooking pasta, you just pop out a couple of pesto cubes and you throw it into the pasta. You can also freeze the romesco because you can always heat it up again in a pan, bring it to a little simmer, and you have romesco. But the chimichurri, not so much. I would say just, eat as much of that as you can. It'll probably last in your fridge for up to, 10 days or so because it does have vinegar in it and it has salt, so it'll last a while. Okay, and I'm waiting for this to come up to a boil, and then we'll talk about this angel hair pasta again. So to recap the ingredients that we'll need: angel hair pasta, some shrimp, a handful of fresh parsley. Again, I have a ton of garlic here, and a stick of butter. And let me get my food processor going again, because you can obviously slice the garlic and the parsley by hand, but if we have a food processor, why do that? So let's get this guy ready. All right, so back to this. So now you can see that it's come to a boil and it's simmering. Can we get some sort of close-up on that? There we go. All right, so I'm slowly moving this around the pan, and that pasta is soaking up that liquid. See? There we go. And so I know that in about 90 seconds, this pasta is going to be, it's going to be ready to go. Okay? And right now, I'm simmering that liquid. Now, if the pasta for some reason wasn't cooked yet and it ran out of liquid, I would just, I would add more. But in this case, I've done this recipe a few times, so I kind of, can calculate how much liquid we need. But this is not only going to be quick, but because we're using chicken stock and not just water, this is going to be a really flavorful, creamy pasta dish. And because I'm stirring the pasta like this, I'm releasing the starches from the pasta, and what I'm going to end up with is a nice creamy pasta dish. Like that liquid is going to turn into a nice, creamy liquid. Same sort of theory behind cooking risotto is you kind of move it around so that all the starch comes off the rice and makes the dish creamy. Well, pasta is the same thing. It's a whole bunch. Pasta is essentially sticks of starch. So anything that's starchy like that, if you just keep it moving in hot liquid, it releases the starches and makes the liquid creamy. Okay, so here we go. Okay, this stove here is a little bit underpowered, so I'm having to wait a little longer, but I think most people's stoves, if you put it on high, this thing would be really going. Okay, now I said this was a basic technique, so I'm not going to add anything else to this pasta. This is just angel hair pasta with chicken stock, just to show you the technique of how to cook angel hair pasta. On the next round, obviously, we're going to do the whole shebang with the shrimp and the garlic butter. We're going to do it all up. All right, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. So, can we see how this pasta is going?
Yes.
See that? The pasta is nice and soft. We've almost absorbed all the liquid. All right. Let me get a little serving bowl. Okay. Angel hair pasta. Okay, so this would be a nice little bowl of angel hair pasta, and to that we could add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, but this is just like your basic way to cook angel hair pasta. So I don't know if you guys can see this bowl here. All right, there we go. So now hopefully all the chicken people have got their chicken cut up, and we're going to start again. All right, this time you're going to follow along with me and we're going to do it together. So let me just get rid of this, clean up the pan, and I'll be right with you. All right, so let's start by making a white wine garlic butter. Then we're going to cook the shrimp in it, and then we're going to cook the pasta in it. So step one is we're going to take some of this garlic, put it in the food processor. Take the handful of parsley, we're going to put that in the food processor as well. And we're going to chop it all up, and we're going to put it in the pan. All right, so in the pan it goes. Now, I'm going to make about a portion for 2 people. So I'm going to take half a stick of butter, put it in the pan. I'm going to take like just one little swirl of olive oil. And all the olive oil does is it buffers the butter. It keeps the butter from burning. All right. Now, I told you to get a little bit of this kickin' chicken spice. This stuff is awesome. So I'm just going to put like a little tablespoon on top of the butter. You have your chicken bouillon. We're going to take just like a teaspoon and put it on there just for added flavor. And now I'm going to turn this on to high heat. Okay, get my wooden spoon. And now what I'm waiting for is for that butter to melt and for the garlic to start to cook. Now, chicken people, for those of you who are not doing shrimp but are doing chicken, make sure you cut your chicken up really small, okay? Because we want it to cook really quickly. Okay, this is taking just a little bit here. Now, you'll notice that I'm like constantly stirring this, and that's so that garlic doesn't burn. You definitely do not want to burn the garlic on this one. So just very gently keep the garlic moving. Especially now that the butter's melted, you want to just keep that garlic moving. And garlic cooks really quickly. It only takes like, 30 to 60 seconds to cook. Especially when it's minced up like that in the food processor. All right. Now that it's bubbling, I'm frying the garlic technically. Okay, don't stop stirring it or you're going to burn it. And if you burn it, you got to start all over again. Okay. Now, in goes the shrimp. And for those of you doing chicken, in goes the chicken. All right, and again, still stirring it. Okay, and I'm just going to stir this around just so the shrimp are fully cooked. Now, if your stove is a normal stove and you already got it sizzling, turn it down to medium-high heat. I have this one cranked all the way up to high just because it's not very powerful. But you should be hearing a nice little sizzle. You should be seeing bubbles. There should be steam coming off your pan. Here, can you see that? You should be getting the nice smell from the shrimp. Now, yes, you can use pre-cooked shrimp. There's no problem with that. But the advantage of using raw shrimp is that you get all the juices from the shrimp, and that adds flavor to the pan. Okay, shrimp cook really quickly once you get the heat going. Okay, we're getting close. We're more than halfway on these shrimp. Hopefully I'm not going too fast and all of you are able to follow along. If not, please let me know in the comments and I'll try to slow down just a little bit. Okay, so my shrimp are cooked all the way through. So I'm just going to put about, I call it a swirl, which is, kind of going around the pan here with wine. So just a swirl of white wine. I have Chardonnay. You want to use a wine that's dry. You don't want to use a very sweet wine. Okay, so that's added a lot of the liquid we're going to need in the pan. And I just want to bring it up to a simmer again, just to boil off some of that excess alcohol. Because wine tastes really good when you cook with it, but you don't really want to taste the alcohol. You want to taste all the other compounds that are in the liquid. Okay, I'm going to taste that. Going to put a little tiny bit of salt. All right, guys. Hopefully you're all still with me here. Hopefully your wine has come up to a simmer and now you're seeing all this vapor go off your pan. That's good. That's all the alcohol burning off. Okay, now I'm going to grab my angel hair pasta, about the size of a quarter. That's going to be a portion for 2 people. All right, and I'm just going to lay it down flat on the pan. And I'm going to pour in maybe a cup of chicken stock. And just start very slowly moving that pasta around, just so that it comes into contact with the liquid. So you can actually move the shrimp off to the side to let the pasta get at the liquid. And there we go. Bring that up to a simmer. And now that pasta is just going to soak up all that liquid. It's going to soak up all that flavor. And you just very gently keep, keep moving it around. If you get to a point where the pan becomes dry, just add a little more chicken stock, but have a little patience. Okay, so you can see that the liquid's becoming a little creamy from all the starches in the pasta, and you can see the pasta getting a little soft because it's soaking up all that nice hot liquid. All right. All right, we're getting close. If you're unsure, you can always grab a fork and take a little strand of pasta and taste it. No rule against that. All right, so my pan's actually getting a little dry. we're running out of liquid, so I'm just going to pour a little tiny bit more. And when you cook with angel hair pasta like this, just always make sure you have liquid on standby in case you need to rehydrate it while it's cooking. I hope your kitchen smells as good as this kitchen. All right, we're almost there, guys. Just keep that pasta moving. Notice how it's soaking up that liquid and all coming together beautifully. All right, this pasta is thirsty. I'm just going to keep adding a little more chicken stock. So we have so many flavors in this pan. We have that kickin' chicken, which gives it a little bit of spice. We have the chicken bouillon, which sets the base flavor to this pasta dish. We have a ton of garlic, parsley, that white wine, and of course the natural juices from the shrimp. This is one of my favorite pasta dishes. Sometimes if I have like fresh clams and I have a whole bunch of clam juice, this is my go-to dish. Nothing soaks up clam juice better than angel hair pasta.
Chef, I got a question here.
Yes.
Ken likes the angel hair cooking tip. Does it work with fresh ravioli?
Fresh wrap? Well, so the question is, does this technique work with fresh ravioli? And the answer is no. This is specifically for angel hair pasta. Ravioli, you just boil that and it cooks really quickly. But if you start stirring ravioli like this for 5-10 minutes, you might break the ravioli up. So I would say with ravioli, just boil it in water, for 5 minutes or so, drain it, and then add it into an already made sauce, and you're good to go. All right, so we're good. So the pasta has soaked up all the liquid. It's nice and soft and perfectly cooked, and now we're just going to plate it. All right, so I'm going to grab my plate here. All right, we have our nice creamy pasta here. We're going to top it with all these beautiful shrimp. And look at this sauce. It made its own creamy sauce. Now, this is not a sauce that you would get if you boil pasta and then drain it. You have to cook the pasta and keep moving it to get that nice, starchy, creamy sauce. So I'm just going to, can you guys see that? And then you just top it with a whole bunch of cheese. And whoever says that seafood and cheese don't go together, just don't invite that guy over to your house. Okay, this is 2-year-old aged Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese. So check this out. In less than 10 minutes, you can have a perfectly creamy angel hair pasta dish with shrimp or chicken. And there you go, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. I am going to stay here for another few minutes to see if you have any questions. But otherwise, enjoy your pasta dish. And thank you very much for having me again. It was a pleasure doing this cooking class with you. Tell these people that it's not just smell-o-vision.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, and try not to burn your mouth.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, man. Delicious. Yep. Good night.
Well, Matt's out. I guess I'm giving
man.
out money.
Christian, thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome.
Oh.
Thanks for having me. Always
So
great
good.
to be at your Davis Financial
Awesome.
cookouts here.
Thank you to all you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy
We love all
Festivus.
you. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but enjoy them. And from all of us here, happy holidays. Thank you.